Hey folks, quick heads up. This video is only a part of a comprehensive course on vueschool.io. Dive deeper and master advanced techniques by checking out the full course linked in the description below. Happy coding! Using icons can be tricky. They can slow down your page if your page has many icons, and also they can cause layout shifts if you're not too careful. And that's not all. If you are working on a big project, you will need a lot of icons, and grabbing them from different places can quickly turn into a mess. And that's why it's important to have a reliable icon provider. For me, Iconify is the way to go. Iconify is an all-in-one icon library. It has so many icon sets, and you're not limited to a single set of icons. Let me show you what I mean. If you click on this icons from the top navbar, it will take us to this page where all the icons or the sets of icons is listed down. And if you like any of them, just click on the icon set, and it will take you to a page where it displays all the icons. And let's say I want to use this icon. I'll click on the icon, and it will show me the name of the icon. It will allow me to control its size, to control the color, and even control how I'm going to integrate this into my project. So whether I can copy it as an SVG code, or maybe a URL, CSS, or maybe embed it into my Vue component, React, Svelte, it's really flexible. And regardless of which set of icons that you want to use, you will always find it on Iconify website. So one source for everything. Let's go back to the previous page and choose one of the icon sets. I'll go with this Lucide Icons. Click on it, and these are all the icons inside of it that I can use. And by the way, this is a standalone set of icons, a standalone library. But Iconify got everything for us right here. And it's really a cool icon library, by the way. It's full of beautiful and high quality icons, and you can also see it being used everywhere in the Shadesy and docs. And probably that's for a good reason. Anyway, what we need is the search icon. So I can go with this magnifier glass here. And then let's go for SVG and copy the code. And in our code editor, let's paste it right before the input, right here. And let me just do this, and there it is. Let's have a look at it. npm run dev, and let's check our site. And there it is. It's right there. But so far, it's just an SVG. So the only thing we gain from Iconify is that we have one source for all icon sets. But we still have to grab different SVG from the site every time we need an icon. But if we go back to Iconify, getting started, documentation, usage, and then icons on demand, we will see an option for Vue. And this option will allow us to use a special icon component in our Vue components to only import the icons we need. So it gives us access to all icon sets, and it renders everything in SVG, high quality SVG, and it loads the icons on demand. You only load what you need. But the only issue is that it doesn't have server-side rendering support. And it shouldn't be a problem for us since we're working on a client-side single-page application, but we have plans to add server-side rendering support for some of the pages. So I will follow the recommendation and switch to Iconify Web Component. Iconify Web Component. But before we get started with Iconify Icon, do you know what a web component is? Well, you can think about it this way. A web component is like the component that you craft in Vue, right? So it encapsulates JavaScript logic and styling in one component. And then you can reuse this anywhere. So you can think about web components the same way, except that web components provide you with APIs that you can use to craft your own custom HTML element. But this HTML element still encapsulates its functionality and styling, just like a normal component that you use. And adding to that, it doesn't rely on a specific framework, so it works everywhere. And one of the really cool things about this web component right here by Iconify is that it doesn't render the icon just when the page loads. It renders the icon only when it's visible to the user, which is really good for performance. So let's register this web component. Click on the registering the web component, and looks like we need to install this package or this module and import it into our app. So I'll copy the name of the module, get back to VS Code, and let's do npm install Iconify icon. And when that is done, I'm going to head to main.ts, which is our entry point, and import this module. One more thing I need to do before I start using this component is that I need to tell Vite about it, because Vite will treat all the elements as either native HTML elements or custom Vue components. Anything else will throw an error. So I can pass options to the Vue plugin like so, template, compiler options, and there is a property here called isCustomElement. And this is our way to tell Vue about it. And it goes like this, element, and then arrow. And I'll check if the element starts with Iconify icon. So it's like telling, hey, Vue, if you notice this element that starts with Iconify icon, know that this is a custom element and don't throw an error. Just leave it to the browser. And now in app.vue, I can replace this SVG like so. Iconify icon and close the tag, but I'll pass an attribute called icon. And then I'll say that I want to use Lucide, and the icon name is search. Now, when I run the application, like so, and check the browser, I get the icon like I did with the SVG. How cool is that? It's so nice because we're going to use this exact syntax to display any icon across our application. But I just need to grab this from here and put it there because now it looks messy. So in my code, I will set the wrapper as relative. And for the Iconify icon, I will add some classes. I want this to be absolute and place it to the top of its container, maybe 2.5, and also to the left of the container, maybe 2.5 as well, and change the text color. So let's say text muted foreground. I'll save and let's have a look in the browser. Here it is, and it looks amazing. And actually, the entire navigation bar looks good. We have the drop-down menu and we have the search input field. Awesome. But you know what? We can even make the positioning of this icon more accurate. So instead of explicitly setting the position of this icon by 10 pixels away from the top of the container, we can change this by setting height to fit. That will set the height property to fit content. And then for our icon, we can adjust the top class to make it 50%, like so, accompanied with translate y negative 50%. And this is one technique to center an absolute element vertically. Now, if we save, check our browser, we will see it accurately centered. In fact, if we increase the height of the input, it will still be exactly in the middle. It will be vertically centered. So to test that, let's set the height to 20, for example. Check our browser, and it's still centered. Or it can work as well if we set the height to full, but increase the height of the form because this is the container. And now this input will take the full height of the container. So we can set the height here to 20 and remove the height fit. Save, check the browser, and it's still centered. But we don't want that, so let's just get back the height to fit again and remove the height full from the input because we want the default height that was set by JTN for the input field. And now if we check the browser, it looks perfect. And another thing I want to squeeze into this one. So here in the extensions, if you search for Iconify, you will find this extension Iconify IntelliSense. If you click on it and install it, I have it installed already, so I'll just enable it. You will be able to do this. So right here in the icon, when you define the icon name, let's clear the name and define it from scratch, and then start typing Lucide. And then once we do this colon, we will get all the options for all the icons that Lucide provides. So let's type search. We will get a list of all the icons for the search that we can use. So we can select any of them. And if you hover over it, you will see a preview of the icon itself. So by installing this extension, you will never need to leave your code editor just to check on the icon name. You can just find it from here.